Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Cherisse, and welcome. And if you're not new to my channel, perhaps you've been watching my videos recently. In my last video, I shared with you guys that I had a little bit of a mental breakdown and ended up going to the psych hospital to get some help. I had initially been planning a move, and just some stuff came up, and it felt like it was standing in the way of me being able to do that. So, in my last video, I told you that I had basically canceled that move, and it has definitely been quite a roller coaster of stuff going on right now. But I ended up deciding that despite the issues that I am dealing with my car right now, that I'm still going to make this move. So, when the time comes, I will share with you guys where I am planning on going to. I am planning on sticking it out here for the next couple months like I'd initially planned and leaving around the end of October. So I'll be very excited to show you guys about that journey and where I'm going when the time comes for that. But for now, I'm going to keep that part a little bit more private to myself and to like my close family and friends. But I just kind of realized that I have used this as an excuse in the past. So if you are new here, I have been nomadic for about the past 4.5 years, and I have used this as an excuse in the past to not leave situations that were not necessarily good for me because of my car struggles. Yet at the same time, I have made long journeys and done things with my car actually in worse shape than it is in right now. So I just kind of realized I was talking to a friend about the situation and how I felt like I was kind of being forced to stay, and like how I just felt really stuck with this, and how I felt like the universe was like forcing me here. And I don't know, I kind of felt some conflicting energy around this specific idea of thinking that I was being forced to stay, because nothing really ever forces you to stay in a place. Perhaps I don't know what your circumstances are like if you feel stuck or forced to stay somewhere, but generally we have a choice, even if that choice comes with certain types of consequences. And perhaps the better option, or this just the safer option, technically, might be to stay or feel stuck in the environment that you're in. But at the same time, there was a part of me that, after my mental breakdown and after taking medications that actually made things feel worse for me, I kind of questioned whether it was actually the universe stepping in to try and force me to stay here. And I didn't say this to anybody at the time, but I was talking to a friend about the situation, and she said that the universe doesn't usually work like that, where it is like punishing or forcing. And she was like, there is a difference between what you think is happening and sabotage. And that really piqued my interest, and I felt like it really aligned with something that I was feeling at the time, which was that I kind of felt like I had reached a point, and I was receiving constant confirmation, synchronicities. I got a suitcase for free after I decided to do this. I have a safe, supportive place that I'm planning on going to, and I start to get excited about life again, and then all of a sudden something happens, and it's like it felt like this intense darkness just creeped in and just snatched it all away. And while there is the aspect of recognizing that, like, that shows an area of myself where I need to take my power back and practice a deeper self control with what I am allowing to energetically influence me, but it did feel like there was like some dark entity that stepped in and was trying to sabotage this journey that I have got consistent confirmation and synchronicities and alignments towards making that choice. So it was cool, because I still felt like this, despite the car issues, I still felt this urge that I wanted to make that journey. And after this conversation with a friend, it felt like another confirmation and synchronicity in my life, redirecting me back to that. So I have decided, after all, that I'm still going to make that journey despite my car issues. Like I said, I'm going to stay here for a couple months, working in this job still, and doing my best to save as much as I possibly can, which means that I am going to be cutting back. It's not like I'm spending much money anyway, but I am going to basically be keeping it to the barest of the barest of the bare minimum. If I am able to do any work on my car before I leave, that would be absolutely fantastic. But if not, I am just deciding to trust fall into this because it always works out for me. It always works out. My car issues always end up working out. I always get home somewhere. I always am connected to beautiful people with mechanical inclinations to the point that now I can do a lot of work on my vehicle on my own because I've had so many people teach me and work with me through this. I have multiple toolboxes that I travel with, so this whole kind of lifestyle, this nomadic type of style of living, especially if you do not have at the time yet some type of form of stable income, even if you do, like for instance, I have a friend who she travels in her RV and she paints, but that is still kind of a trust system because depending on where she's going, it's not guaranteed that she's going to have a job painting or doing something else, but mainly she does just painting and she gets paid very well for this. And so I realize I feel like making this choice is revisiting a part of myself that is like, hey, I believe in you, Cherisse. I believe in you. I believe in your capabilities, as well as I believe in the universe's ability to connect me and provide for me as it always has. And there's always been like a little bit of a tinge of like anxiety around these types of choices and big moves and like the unsureness, but it's also a massive trust fall into the universe to provide everything, and it always has been provided for me. So I am choosing to go back into that because I feel like that is where my heart is calling me right now. I'm grateful for the time that I've been here, and all of that has honestly definitely showed me that this is not the type of lifestyle for me, which is something that I knew um, when I initially moved into my car 4.5 years ago. Almost 5 years ago now, I knew that like I wanted to enter that lifestyle. I wanted to become nomadic, even though I didn't have a lot of money, and I knew that the money was not guaranteed wherever I would go. And at the same time, it kind of is, because it always has appeared in my life, and I've always been provided for. I've always been fed. My car issues have always been fixed. The biggest problem with this lifestyle, for the most part, has been the anxiety, and at the same time, um, dealing with issues when you have almost nothing and having it always work out has been one of the greatest healers to my anxiety, to the unsureness of living. So there has been this beautiful benefit of living this like trust system with the universe, even though, no, I'm not super wealthy at this point. It's not like I reached that point. Perhaps someday it will be, perhaps not. Perhaps I will always just be a very simple person with a very simple lifestyle and simple financial needs being met. I don't know what my future holds for me. I am hopeful for things to constantly be improving for me, because in a lot of very small ways they have. In other ways, it seems at times that it's not improving and that it's actually deteriorating. But yeah, so this is my little update for you guys. So I am actually already like downsizing, even though I know it's like a couple months out. So I have listed some things to sell. So I have actually already sold that. I haven't actually literally sold it, but the lady is coming to pick it up today. I'm also selling these cabinets. They are listed. I have 3 of them. I actually have listed all of them for super cheap because I did not pay anything for these things. And I was going to free pile them, but then I was like, oh, why don't I make a little bit of money? So I, as well as selling them for super cheap, means that I am getting them out of the way very quickly. I also have a buyer for my bonsai already, and I'm thinking about leaving my money tree for my brother so he has a little bit of a nice, cute little plant for his home environment. But I have been downsizing on my clothes as well. I'll show you guys actually. So I have this little pile. This is not get rid of. This is also not get rid of, but I have this little pile right here of clothes, and I have already gotten rid of so much. So I have taken all the clothes out of this one, and I have just been downsizing and purging. So this is some of my clothes, and the rest of my clothes are in this closet. It is just here. There are more of these that I already know that I'm going to get rid of because they are work clothes that I am only keeping for my current job. I have shoes down here. I have my suitcase, which I will start filling if I actually sell these cabinets soon, but I might also sell some of those shoes. I will actually create a separate videos for you guys about the completion of the downsize of my clothing and figuring out how to fit all that into a suitcase, which is something I've done before. That is about the same size suitcase that I have been traveling with now for years, so I know I can do it. And I was showing one of my friends all the clothing that I had and the size of my suitcase. I was like, watch me fit all of this clothes, minus my jackets, which is actually a good portion of stuff in there. Watch me fit all of these into this little suitcase. He's like, no way. I was like, trust me, I can do it. I can do it. I would like to get rid of more stuff though, just because I also would like to fit. Andy, please stop. I would also like to fit like my socks and my underwear and my scarves and my hats in my suitcase, if possible, just to limit the amount of space I'm taking up. Because this time as well, moving into my car, I will not have a bed build, which gave me a lot of sleeping space because I had drawers underneath, but I ended up throwing that bed away recently, and it was molding and it was breaking, so it was time to get rid of it. And so now it will be nice this time because I have more headspace and I can sit up in the back, and I want to get a couple like containers for storage with lids, so during like driving or during the day I can kind of spread those out, but at night I can stack them over on top of each other and have more bed space. And it'll also be nice because now that I have all the head space, having storage containers and flat surfaces, I will actually be able to cook in my car, which I have never done, which is actually very exciting. But yeah, guys, like I said, I'll create another video about the actual, like, I guess I've already done the intense downsizing part. I will probably still get rid of some stuff, but I will show another video about packing my actual clothing bag, how I do that, as well as showing you guys some of the new clothes I've got, because I have purged out a bunch of the old clothes that I traveled with and incorporated some new ones. Like, for instance, this little dress is new from the thrift store. Everything I've gotten here is from a free pile or a thrift store. And then these pants are old. They're very stained, but I love them. So there's going to be a little mixture of new and old stuff that I'm incorporating. And I will also make a video when the time comes to how I am going to organize my car to go back into living out of it. So yeah, guys, just this little life update for you. I will keep you updated about my journey while I'm here and the ups and downs that I will probably continue to experience, because that is life. But I am very much so looking forward to this change coming for me. It is honestly giving me something to hope for again for myself. Um, and I'm just really excited to get out of the city. Where I will be heading is much more out in the middle of nowhere. It is near a city, town. It's near a town, but it will be just so nice, purging my body from all the toxins I feel like I've been taking in from being in the city for an extended period of time, as well as how much I'm looking forward to leaving my job, which I don't like, and going another route and falling back into this trust system with the universe, which I feel like I've kind of been in that zone here, but in a very, very, very different way. So, yeah. Thank you for watching my channel. Please do like and subscribe if you would like to watch more of my videos, or if you're just here and want to continue watching it. I know, especially during like this period of like living in the city, a lot of my videos have been much more focused on kind of feelings of stuckness and how to deal with being in like an environment that is like kind of like sapping the life out of you, like work, for instance. I feel like a lot of the people who have started following me during this period of my life, it has been based on videos that are largely about um being in jobs that you hate, and the kind of like the rat race of life, like fucking saying fuck you to the rat race, and kind of like encouragement for people who are going through those types of similar things as I am, as well as self-worth issues, dealing with the pressure of society to live and work a certain way, to be a certain way. I'm like excited for you guys that have followed me, because I am now going to be entering back into a lifestyle that is extremely alternative and very against what society teaches you to do, and can be triggering to a lot of people, this style of living, because it is very controversial. Yeah, so I hope that this is some type of encouragement for anybody that, like, if you are uncomfortable with a part of your life that you are just severely unhappy and unsatisfied with, that you can make changes in your life. And I hope that it's encouragement to follow those dreams or those calls of your heart that you have, whether it is doing something bigger like going into a nomadic style of living, traveling, moving into your car like I am doing, or perhaps it's something else like reaching for a goal or a dream. Perhaps there's somewhere that you want to move. Perhaps there's somewhere that you really want to move, but you're just like making excuses and allowing fear to control that choice in your life. Maybe this is the encouragement that you need to take that leap of faith, because we can live in fear. And I made a little post about this, about how basically chaos will always be an element in life. Things are always going to fall apart. We are going to make mistakes, and there will be failures. There is always going to be upheaval and ups and downs in life. And if you are allowing the fear of that to be the thing that holds you back, you might be really holding yourself back from something amazing and beautiful. And sometimes taking a leap of faith directly into the face of chaos is one of the most self-empowering and life-changing and uplifting things you can actually do for yourself. And I'm not saying that in a way that's just guaranteeing, like, hey, if you take that leap of faith in your life, everything's gonna work out perfectly for you. Like, it might actually be really chaotic. I actually remember when I first moved into my car, it was extremely freeing in a certain sense, but I was going through a severe amount of depression from things I was dealing with before I moved into my car. I went through a bunch of really intense shit at the beginning of it as well, and I'm not going to say that everybody is going to go through the same things that I went through. My experience is unique to myself. The place that I moved was unique to myself, and there are plenty of people who might go through similar types of things, but there is also a chance for you that if you take this leap of faith, things will actually work out very well for you. Like, you never know. I've actually found that sometimes when I'm afraid to make a big change and I take a massive leap of faith, the way has been consistently provided for me. When I choose to go where my heart is calling me to go, and there is fear and there is unsureness, and I do not know how my needs will be met or how I will be financially provided for or how I'm going to even get where I'm going, it's always been provided. Oftentimes, like, just miraculously, without me even asking for anybody's assistance, it has just rolled in and things have just aligned for me. And so I would hope that for anybody taking any form of a leap of faith or following your heart, perhaps the leap of faith for you might be going back to school or following into a career that like you love, or following into a creative interest. I had a friend who actually quit school so she could do art full time, and I don't know where she's at in life. We actually had a falling out years ago, but I thought that that was so cool. And perhaps she's now at a point in life, or perhaps she went back to being like, you know what, actually, I want to go back to college and put art on hold. But the leap of faith also doesn't have to be like a forever thing. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith to even know if like that's the choice that you want to actually make for yourself. And sometimes you're like, hey, not the one I want, but at that point you've built confidence with yourself and with your life. You've helped overcome a fear and anxiety just around taking a leap of faith. You've created so much inner growth inside of yourself just by doing that. So no matter what, you've created magic in your life, even if that's not the route that you continue to go with in the long run. So that's my little bit of encouragement for today, and I hope that if you have been questioning taking a leap of faith into something, that you go for it. That you go for it. Or if you are one of my followers who has commented, or perhaps you haven't commented and you just feel like this, where you also feel stuck in your life, or you hate the job that you're in and you just feel like you are in this place of constantly just like robot movements and just going with it and feeling like you're in a constant state of giving up and you just don't know what to do. If there is nothing specifically calling your heart, I would encourage you for sure to sit with yourself, meditate, or just go on a walk, or like listen to some music or some videos that might inspire you. Find what it is that you want in your life, because you're allowed to want and desire more with your life. And if you're sitting there and you're wanting and you're desiring more with your life and you know what it is, go for it. But if you're sitting there and desiring and wanting more with your life and you're not really fully sure what it is, sit with yourself, because you know exactly what it is that you want. And sometimes it is just a little bit concealed from us, and we have to sit with ourselves or sit and talk with somebody else. And sometimes there will be a light that happens and you know the direction that you want to go. A lot of times as well, I think that because of the societal pressure to be a certain way, oftentimes people might have a light or a desire or a calling within themselves that they are ignoring simply because it is not societally acceptable. It's not acceptable by your family or your friends. I don't know what type of raising you have or the type of environment that you are surrounding yourself with. Perhaps there's something that you are denying, some calling and some desire in your heart that you are actually denying simply because either you don't want to admit that you want it, you don't think that you're worthy of it, you don't think that you're capable of it, or you just feel the pressure not to want that, to desire that for yourself. Go after that. Go after that. Like, why the fuck not? Why are so much of us living for what other people want for us rather than what we want for ourselves? Like, no. Get out of here. Like, do something exciting. But yeah, and if you don't want to do that and you're like, you know what? I'm actually pretty satisfied with where I'm at, and I'm good. Like, and maybe it's not even like a massive change for you. Some people, like, you don't want to do something crazy different with your life, but maybe you're not as fulfilled. Maybe incorporating something new, like some new form of exercise, like jujitsu or tai chi or yoga or dance. Maybe you could do boxing classes, incorporating something like that, or something more creative, like going to some type of class, or like learning how to paint, or learning how to sing, or watching things to learn online. Maybe gardening. I don't know. There's so many options. Sewing is one of my favorite things. Maybe learning a new hobby might just be the thing that your heart is searching for and longing for, just something to add a little bit more flavor to your life, add something a little new to your life. So, thank you once again, guys, for watching my channel. I love you, and I believe in you, and I hope that you have an absolutely amazing and beautiful day. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.